We are ready. Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good, ma'am. So, ma'am, हमने medical aspects and the anxiety part, the trauma part of it हमने address किया अभी के communication में. With you, I am hoping to speak as the community workers because you and me work a lot with students, with community, with teachers. So we also have a definitive role to play, right? So my first question is the same which I have asked Dr. Devashish, that there is a lot of anxiety among young women and all the women, right? They don't feel safe, and overconsumption of news is a big issue. So what are your thoughts? How can I mean, I know you are a mother of a teenage daughter. How
See,
do you deal with
one
the
thing,
situation?
Nidhi, we all have to understand this 24 by 7 news channel, they have a pressure. They
Hmm.
need to repeat the news, they need to create hyper topics which engage audience, which make them think. And there's a movie on Netflix on Trump's uh, campaign that shows that the topics you hear once or you like once, the more topics on more similar topics will be shown to you on your Facebook, on your Insta, on your news channels. All those topics will start appearing, all those ads will start appearing. Once you am not like, so now with AI, so they are even tracking what you are speaking with each other. The more you indulge in that, the more that line of topics will keep streaming to you, and you will keep getting involved in it. So first thing I agree with Devashish is do a self check, do a self control. How much you want to read both sides of the news, go and serve both sides of the channel, switch off the TV for some time, don't read about it. And these are the self controls that you only can manage. How much information you want from these things. The more you read about it, it's like बच्चे में नहीं डरावनी स्टोरीज का चस्का लग जाता था, तो भूत वाली कहानियां खूब पढ़ते रहते थे। वही हाल आजकल न्यूज का है। जितना पढ़ोगे उतना हाइपर होते जाओगे, उतना एडिक्शन होता जाएगा उसी तरह की खबर पढ़ने का। That is why you will see the people above the age of 65, 70, they don't have much more work, any much work to do. They are more inclined to listen to these kinds of news, these reading about these, going to the Facebook and reading to this. Now the younger generation tells me, हम तो अब Facebook पे हैं ही नहीं, because it is too full of aunties and uncles, and एक type का material वहां पर है which we do not want to read about. We want to share our stories. We want to share our fun stories on the Insta. So this is something that we as adults have to think, ki how much do we want these news to infiltrate our minds and our day-to-day lives. Uh, Things like these used to happen in the older times also, but the news was very limited. एंड पीपल यूज टू डिस्कस इट। एजिटेशंस पहले नहीं होती थी, पहले भी होती थी, पहले भी विरोध होते थे, पहले राइट्स भी होते थे, सब कुछ होता था, बट इट वाज नॉट योर डेली एक्टिविटी। नाउ फ्रॉम मॉर्निंग 8 o'clock टू रात के 9:30, 10, जब तक सोई नहीं आप सारा दिन उस पर कंसंट्रेट नहीं करते थे। आप बाकी काम भी करते थे, आप जॉब पे भी जाते थे, आप खाना भी बनाते थे, आप घर का भी काम करते थे, आप रिश्तेदारी भी निभाते। बट अब एक पास टाइम हो गया है, वी डोंट नो आवर नेबर नेक्स्ट डोर नेबर्स, बट वी नो व्हाट इज गोइंग इन कैलकाटा मोर देन दैट, है ना। सो ये अपना सेल्फ कंट्रोल है, हाउ यू मैनेज इट। सो दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू हैव योर ओन बाउंड्रीज, create your own boundaries. What I want in my life, I have started practicing something. If something disturbs me a lot, then I sit down and think whether it is worth it to give so much time to this thing. कोई आपका नेबर से झगड़ा है, आपके अपने रिलेशंस में कोई झगड़ा है, न्यूज ही है जो आप बोल रहे हो, कितना टाइम मुझे अपनी लाइफ का इस चीज को देना है, ये तो मैं ही तय कर सकती हूँ ना। मुझे क्या इतना इम्पोर्टेंट है कि मैं अपना मेंटल पीस छोड़ के आई गेट इंडल्ज इन दैट। So this boundary, once you start creating for everything, I often share this example. I was renting a place some few years back, and my next door neighbor started pestering me for not keeping a mat outside my door, welcome mat. You keep generally, na? I was working that time in the school, and my maid used to come and tell me कि वो आंटी बोल रही है मैट हटा दो, वो आंटी बोल रही है. तो थोड़े दिन तो I ignored, but then it became a मतलब like kind of a daily input that she is requesting. वो गंदा हो जाता है, वो वहां पे साफ कराती हैं, तो मैट के पास धूल जमती है and all. Then one day I closed my door and I realized कि this is not me to fight over a mat. I've got more important things to do. I need to study. I need to teach my children. I need to go to school and work there. I've got people who are coming to me counseling to seek counseling. I have to work on that. This stupid mat is not worth my time. That 15-20 minutes every day conversation with the maid is not worth my time. I picked up that mat, I kept it in my balcony, and that was the end of it. Later on, because I realized that lady is at home, her whole day is spent in cleaning that corridor, that whatever she was doing. And my maid is also into the gossiping. Her whole day is into like usne kya kaha, isne kya kaha. That is their pastime. That is their work. This is what is important to them. But is it important to me? Same with the news channel. That is their job. They need to increase the TRPs. So do I need to be that this thing? Okay, I'm concerned with the Calcutta thing. I really want justice to be there. But how much of my time? I can't leave my job and go in Calcutta and sit with the Dharna people. But how much time do I want to spend on it? And anything, what will I do? I'm not doing any constructive thing by just watching the news. I'm not doing anything constructive by writing it on Facebook. Only thing constructive I can do is write support letters to the MLAs and MPs to take up this case, write to the probably court judge ki, okay, no, this is wrong. The justice should be served. But how much day? The whole day I'm in Delhi. That person is Calcutta. Either if I'm very concerned, I leave my job, go to Calcutta and stand there in the supports. If I can't do that, I have to decide how much time I want to spend on that news. It is a worrisome news. I have a teenage daughter who's studying in Pune. Makes me worried also. But I cannot spend my whole day, and I cannot now start telling my daughter, please stop all your activities because something has happened in Calcutta. She has to live her life. But only thing is we need to be extra careful not to position ourselves in a way where we get attacked. And if somebody teases us or if somebody gets it, we have to raise a strong voice against it. We have to sensitize our children, the boys and the girls. Okay, this is what is happening is wrong, and this how you should treat girls. Incomplete empathy in our children. That is the best we can do as individuals. That's it. We cannot be the judges. Only thing we can follow the news and see if the justice is being done. That's it. And follow the news like it is a news, not part of my life story. Okay. Nidhi, you're muted.
Yeah. So, ma'am, you spoke about inculcating empathy. Empathy is antidote to aggression. And as we were also talking with doctor that, boys are predisposed biologically towards aggression. What are the steps we as a society can take to sensitize our boys, inculcate more empathy in them and growing up
There
with?
I disagree with कि they are predisposed to aggression. Boys keep dogs. Boys love cats. Boys are taught to be aggressive. You are the strong boy. You don't have to cry. Don't cry like a girl. We create that. We never buy dolls for our boys, but they love to play house with us as a kids. If you see, if you remember, your old little cousins and all used to come and play house with you. They were very caring about their sisters. They used to hold them very gently. I don't think so they are predisposed to aggression. We all are predisposed to aggression actually. If we are taught that way, you have to tough it out, you don't have to cry, you don't have to be sensitive, we do that. A father is not supposed to cry when the daughter is leaving. Why? We are somewhere in the Indian society, we have created this persona of a macho man, and somewhere we have started women as the devi, and something to be cared for and put on the pedestal. We don't treat them as human beings. Start treating them as human beings. Talk to your child about what has happened in Kolkata. Listen to their views. Even boys are very angry, very upset about that news. And they say Indian society is like that. We don't accept that woman is progressing, woman is doing well. And such incidents are happening because of this mentality that a man has to protect a woman. A man has to be the macho man. A woman should be taking care of the house. It is very, very deep rooted in our culture.
So you believe that
Unless we
gender
do
role,
that,
so you believe that gender roles contribute to this issue?
the cultural thoughts.
The
I
culture.
believe that culturally we have defined the gender roles. That is where the problem is. Unless we start teaching that reversing that gender roles, or accepting different boys into our culture, it won't change.
Hmm.
It's as a mother, all those as a father, it is our duty to accept that my child is sensitive, my child has empathy, encourage that kind of empathy.
Yes. Yes. Is there
That
anything?
is not happening.
So there is
And
one
to
thing.
call out these small incidents of छेड़छाड़ ना, we
Hmm.
अब तो digital इतना हो गया, we should capture those faces and portray them in the social media. These are the men who are the exceptions to the
Hmm.
rule.
Hmm.
They are the one who have the perverted minds. And you will be very few men, I feel, now do that. Generally men are sensitive, men are respectful, but sometimes they are not. Some of them are not, out of their own frustrations, out of their own indulgences, they are not. What I feel कि अपना ही perversion है which they carry out. If as a mother, as a father, I'm speaking to my son on these incidences, I'm highlighting how what should have been the ideal approach to it.
Hmm.
My child will not do it. I
Hmm.
can be very sure of it.
Hmm.
If you are teaching respect to the woman at home, you can be assured that neither your daughter, neither you or your son would indulge in that. But
True.
that starts from home.
That starts
That
from.
starts from parenting is very, very complex thing. It cannot be generalized. It's always for a first time parents or second time parents is always a trial and error approach.
Hmm.
You make mistakes with your children, but when you accept, like I have, as a very, my children were very young, I started telling them that when I get angry with them, it is not always about them. It is sometimes me taking out my frustration on them, because I am a human being. I'm not a perfect mom, even though I'm a psychologist, I'm a counselor, but I'm not perfect. And sometimes something happens at work, or I'm too tired or feeling sick, and I just get exhausted with all that stuff that is happening, and I take it out on them. My hormones run mad. Then I get frustrated and I take out that emotional outburst on them. बहुत दिन का इकट्ठा होके ना वो बच्चों पर ही निकलता है. And then they need to come back. They might hear me and they might get scared, but then they need to come back to me and tell me, Mama, you were wrong. You shouted at us unnecessarily. This freedom I started giving, I think at the age of 7 or 8 years, I started telling them, because I saw when I get angry, they get very scared of me.
Hmm.
And then I started telling them that I'm going through something emotional and I'm taking out that anger on them. And I was very, very honest with them. This, I felt bad and it was going around in my mind and I took it out on you. Maybe it was not your fault. It was your father's fault, or it was your dadi's fault, or it was my fault. And this incident happened and this frustration I took out on you. So over the years, what I've seen is now when I'm upset or angry with them, they come and tell me, Mama, please, you need to shut down, shut up. And because you are going really off the tangent, and this is not, please listen to yourself how you are speaking. And that is a very big check. Both of them come to me and tell me, Ki, Mama, you are wrong. You are
Hmm.
going off tangent. You are going off topic while speaking. And मतलब मुसीबत तो मैंने ही बुलाई है लेकिन इट्स अ बिग चेक ऑन मी आल्सो कि टू improve my behavior, to improve myself also. This kind of relationship if you have with your children,
Hmm.
when you can accept that you are wrong in front of them,
Hmm.
it's a very very healthy relationship, and
Hmm.
very very few parents have it with their children. So that is very very important, because no matter how much you study, how many degrees you have got it, how much educated you are bound to make mistakes.
Hmm.
Nobody is perfect except God, I think. Maybe he also is not perfect these days, though. But we all make mistakes, and it is very important to accept that before our children that we can be wrong.
Hmm.
And once they have empathy and they understand that nobody is perfect in this world, you have an automatically a bit more samajhdar kids who are more sensitive towards the flaws of the society and towards their own flaws also. They'll come back to you and they'll speak to you about it. Yeah, I made this mistake.
So, ma'am, we are essentially talking about having that honesty and integrity as a parent, having that, what we, from humanistic perspective, what we call as adulting, a well-informed adult, not just chronologically and biologically, but a emotionally matured, complete.
EQ is very, very important.
Yes, yes.
Very, very important.
Okay.
And
So,
somewhere we have failed to do that.
yeah.
हमारा हैप्पीनेस इंडेक्स की तरफ कोई ध्यान नहीं है विच पीपल कीप टॉकिंग अबाउट कि बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग है एक जो हमें मेजर करनी चाहिए वी डोंट कंसंट्रेट ऑन वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस रिसेंट वर्कशॉप सम टीचर टोल्ड मी कि मैम teachers take so much of leave, we should start deducting 50% of the salary for the medical leaves. I said, please don't do that. Never do that. किसी को बीमार होना है तो कम से कम उसको आराम से बीमार तो होने दो. व्हाट हैपेंड टू योर वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस, व्हाट हैपेंड टू योर वर्क लाइफ कल्चर, उसकी तो पूरी ही मतलब खराब हो जाएगा वो तो. देन व्हेन आई स्पोक टू देम एंड डिस्कस देन दे रियलाइज कि यार मतलब स्कूल तो चल जाएगा बट ऐसे ना आप एक दिन की छुट्टी के चक्कर में वो वायरल वाली या कोविड वाली लेडी को स्कूल बुला लोगे, लेकिन उसके बाद वो जो 15 दिन आपके बाकी स्टाफ को बीमार कर देगी और बाकी स्टाफ भी छुट्टी चला जाएगा, फिर क्या करोगे? देन शी रियलाइज ओके या आई एम रॉन्ग. सो सम टाइम.
Yeah. So great. I absolutely liked the way this conversation has turned from a very clinical perspective to empathy to what we can actually do, because not everybody is going to seek
You
medical.
can't sit on a dharna every time. You
Yeah,
have to
things have
start
to be
this
worked
at
out.
your home.
Yes.
Discuss this with your children. What do they, and you will be surprised how progressive your children are, how disturbed your children are, how much they want to change this attitude. You will be very, very surprised. Today's young generation, when I speak to them, I'm really taken aback with their attitude. My daughter says, Ma'am, Mama, these perverts are everywhere. You can't define your life with them. You have to ignore them and you have to keep yourself safe. That's it. You have to be careful, but you cannot stop. You can't stop me from going out.
Yeah.
Remember when we were teased, we were never used to tell it at home because कहीं पढ़ाई ना छुड़ा दी जाए, घर पे ना बैठा दिया जाए. Now it is like ki, no, I'll go to the nightclub, but I know when to go, where to go, and when to come out. If there's somebody fooling around, I'll simply remove myself from that situation. I'll come back home.
Hmm.
I'll take somebody who's trusting. I'll not go alone. I'll take my friends with me. So we all can leave together. I'll make sure somebody drops me at home. I'll not walk alone if I'm feeling scared. I'll call out. I'll seek help. I'll tell everybody else that this fellow is troubling me and I'm scared of him. Today, kids are like that and very, very responsible.
Ma'am, I have one question here. So we are talking that yes, today's generation and in the audience today who have joined us, mostly they are students, most of them. So they are cool kids established, yes. But I think parents have a lot of catching up to do because I know many people, not just young adults, but the middle-aged people who have suffered at the hands of their parents so-called patriarchal thinking and everything in the name of कि हम तो तुम्हारा भला चाहते हैं करके चुप रहो सह जाओ and there's a whole lot of generation that is wounded and scarred because of these old school parenting ideas. What do? I mean, towards their children, they know what
Nidhi,
they can
that
do,
is
but
what
what
is
can they
amazing.
do?
Yesterday, I had a group of friends of this age group, my age group, who had been told by their parents, हम तो तुम्हारा भला चाहते हैं, advisory. My friends were saying कि now we understand them and we have started taking them as ki okay, they are our well wishers, but we are stopping that chain of trauma here. We
Hmm.
are not moving this chain to the same thing. In the last workshop I had with the principals, they also said कि yes, we understand now that our parents were concerned, but जो suffocation और trauma हमने feel किया था, it is now in our hands to not to pass it to our kids.
Yes. Hmm.
So we are encouraging our kids to move on. We are going to be there to support them. We
Yes.
will not pass on that trauma here. That uh, patriarchal thinking stops with us. Most of the ladies here of my age would agree that they are more keen to teach their daughters now. They should be financially independent, not dependent on spouses or parents for the money. And once financial independence is achieved by a girl, it really lightens the burden on the society also to
Hmm.
protect her,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
then she is the decision maker. And
Hmm.
I think we are moving towards that. More
Yes.
and more girls are studying outside. More and more girls are staying in the hostels. In our generation, it was not even thought of. I never told my mother I want to go to Secunderabad and study in NIMS because I thought it will never be permitted. I'll never be allowed. But today I have sent my daughter to follow her dreams to Pune. So why? Because that fear is gone. There are facilities available, more courses are available, more avenues are available, and we want our children to explore.
Hmm.
Okay, आप जंगल में रहते हो तो बाहर निकलना थोड़ी छोड़ दोगे.
Hmm.
खरगोश भी जंगल में रहता है तो भी निकल के गाजर खाते ही है ना. बिल में तो घुसा नहीं रहता है ना. उसे पता है हाँ मुझे कोई खा जाएगा. बट वो अपनी केयरफुली अपने को प्रोटेक्ट करते हुए निकलता ही है ना. You
Hmm.
cannot hide in your homes or restrict your children out of fear. Any trauma, if it has happened with you or you have heard about a trauma, it should not be the defining factor for your rest of your life. When we do trauma informed counseling, one thing we should understand is it's not about forgiving that person who has done something to us. It's not about that. It is not about forgetting about that incident. It is about accepting, yes, this has happened with me, but this thing is not going to define my life and my relationships with the others.
Hmm.
That is what trauma informed counseling is. That is where you have to bring that victim up to that level, or that moment, that incident does not define your relationships, and that moment does not define your rest of the life.
True.
It has happened, it gives me anxiety, but I still carry on. I move on. It's like grief में भी होता है ना, कोई मर गया, आपको याद तो आती है ना,
Hmm.
रोते तो आप हो ही कि मेरे मम्मा नहीं रहे, मेरे पापा नहीं रहे, या मेरा भाई नहीं रहा. But do you stop eating? Do you stop your day-to-day work? That pain lives inside you, but you live your life. You eat, you sleep, you go to work, you carry on. That is what is that is what the aim of counseling should be. Ki, okay, this has happened. I still feel fear, I still feel anxiety, I still feel pain, I still cry, but I am able to get up from my couch. I am able to go out of my house, buy groceries, go to work, have a meaningful relationship with the other people who have not hurt me. Find those loving and supporting people who care for me and build a relationship with them. Learn to trust again. Not define that this from now on all the males are bad. That is a negative thinking. But to understand that one pervert can does not define the whole generation or whole gender.
Yes.
One exception may be there. पैथोलॉजी यही तो है, तभी तो वो साइकोपैथ है. And these incidents are instigated by few opportunist men who have nothing better to do, who feel outcast from the society, who feel ki okay, this girl is too high to me to catch up to her. So how can I suppress her? That is the thinking. And how she wins. Which movie we have seen abhi, Maharaja? See that girl. Please see that movie. It gives you a very different perspective. That girls tells आपके जैसे बहुत होंगे, but you don't define my life. You are not going to define my life. आपके जैसे लोगों से मैं बचपन से डील करती आ रही हूँ. You think that rape changes me? No, it doesn't changes me. So this is what we need to accept. This incident should not change our basic nature of trust and empathy. This we I think should be taken as a lesson from that, that no, we will identify them, we will put them to task, whatever punishment they get, they deserve it, but we will not be carried away by telling all the men that you are all rapists. No, all the men are not rapists.
Yes.
These are some perverted men who got the opportunity and took it, or who had carefully planned this to subdue that woman.
Yes.
And there's the sick people. And you don't cut a whole organ for just one single sick part.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manisha, ma'am. I would like to add one thing. I mean, it's a brave thing that you acknowledge what happened. And Manobodh as an organization can also help you to connect with the right kind of therapist. If you feel you need therapy, you can, I mean, if you are in the group, WhatsApp Manobodh community group, you can get in touch with me or with Apurva, and we can take it forward from there. And we'll try to provide genuine help to you in best of our capacities. All the best to you. All right, so we have another participant. Oh, we have Divya. Divya, you are there? You raised a hand, I
Yes,
think.
yes,
Hi,
yes,
Divya.
yes, I have raised hand.
Hanji.
Hi, ma'am. So insightful talk, and really, really happy to like you have shared your this invaluable thoughts with us, so that we can also know we have also got an insight. But ma'am, I have a question, which is related to suppose there is something called mass madness, where there's a masses who are ready to means ready to dominate women, ready to say that okay, rape is okay with the women, and if you take out that women from that masses, that whole masses again they attack on the facilitator who is in the between. So in that case, like I don't know, I may you might have experienced something. I have experienced a lot of such events. But in that case, what one should do? Say that ये यही है जो बिगाड़ने वाली है, इन्हीं के पास आके बिगड़ गए. Suppose there's a women and they are working class women, and uh, they are low below poverty line women, and they are facing such kind of situations, rape and all these things. And then when you try to counsel them, you say that no, go and get help. Okay, I will help you out. I'll give you money or anything. When Manobodh or any, if personally me or my organization, if we try to help them, then we face lot of humiliation. We face lot of problems, lot of attacks on us. So in that case, what we have to do? That is my question because right
See,
now I'm facing
first thing
it.
I'll say, great, good. Actually, uh, treat them as what they are. They are the opportunists and the people who find. When you read social psychology, you have that bystander effect. You read.
Mhm.
They are the people who hide in the masses and take out their own frustrations on somebody. So first is to stay calm, call them at what they are, cowards. So, okay, they are not the people who are brave enough to attack you alone. They're scared of you. So recognize your own power, that they are hiding behind a, अगर Facebook पे trolling हो रही है, तो they are hiding behind a false identity. Twitter पे हो रही है, they are creating a different persona to attack you. And know that they are jealous and incapable of hurting you. Okay, they are jealous people, they are scared of you. You do what is right with you. Set up your boundaries. पर्सनल स्पेस बनाना बहुत जरूरी है, एंड एक बाउंड्री क्रिएट करना बहुत जरूरी है. ऑलवेज practice to invite people who are loving and supporting and listen to you without judgment. Those are your true friends. Not everybody is your friend. You will have only one or two friends who listen to you without judgment. Others are all acquaintances. You may know 100 people, 2,000 people, 3,000 people, but only one or two or three would be your genuine friends. I was reading one story. It was a Hindi writers group and they were writing a story. But very nice thing somebody had written. Your friend comes to meet you and she tells, यार तेरी सास तो तेरे से बहुत काम कराती है, तू तो सारा दिन लगी ही रहती है. एंड शी लीव्स. उसने बड़ा कंसर्न से आपको ये चीज बोला, बट कहीं ना कहीं ये सेंटेंस आपके दिमाग में रह गया. एंड अब आप सोचने लगे, हाँ यार सारा काम तो घर का मैं ही करती हूँ, मेरे पास तो कोई हेल्प ही नहीं है, ये तो पड़ी रहती हैं, ये तो ये ऑर्डर दे देती हैं. एंड योर रिलेशनशिप विच वॉज गोइंग वेरी स्मूथली विद योर मदर इन लॉ स्टार्ट्स गेटिंग डिस्टर्ब. तो अंडरस्टैंड हु इज द कृष्णा हियर, हु इज योर कृष्ण. दैट लेडी हैड आस्क्ड कि आपके जीवन के कृष्ण कौन है. शी उसका आगे वो पार्ट था कि सामने जो नेबर रहती थी वो आके बोलती, अपने आप सलाह देके जाती थी, आप ऐसे ये कर लो, आप ऐसे ये कर लो. और ये धीरे धीरे अपने ब्रदर से दूर होती गई उसकी सलाह सुनते सुनते. एंड एक बार जब जरूरत पड़ी एक्चुअली मनी की, तो द ब्रदर कम्स होम एंड, अरे हमसे क्यों नहीं मांगे, तुम बाहर से क्यों लोन ले रही हो, बाहर से मत लोन. एंड ही गेव देम द मनी. एंड देन शी सडनली रियलाइज कि मैं उसकी बातें सुन के, उसके और उसके ब्रदर के रिलेशनशिप देख के अपने ब्रदर को भी उसी तरह जज करने लग गई थी, और मैं धीरे धीरे दूर होती चली गई. तो कई लोग आपके बहुत अच्छे वेल विशर्स होते हैं, लेकिन वो जाने अनजाने आपकी भलाई में कुछ ऐसा बोल जाते हैं आपको जो आपके दिमाग में बैठ जाता है. तो उसमें लास्ट में उसने ये पूछा था कि अपने जीवन के कृष्ण कौन है, ये जरूर पता कर लीजिए कि आपको सलाह देने वाला कौन है. सही सलाह देने वाला और गलत सलाह देने वाला दोनों होते हैं आपके पास. आप किसकी सलाह मान रहे हो, किससे इन्फ्लुएंस होते जा रहे हो, ये देखना बहुत जरूरी है. तो ऑलवेज सेट योर बाउंड्रीज, even on social media, even in your life, set your boundaries. Find quiet areas and find safe spaces for you. May it could be a journal, it could be a generally a puja ghar, या फिर कोई भी टाइम छोटा सा 15 मिनट to analyze what has happened and why it has happened. And if you find something disturbing happen at the office, किसी ने कंप्लेन कर दी है, बॉस ने डांट दिया है, कुछ हो गया है, take a day to analyze. Do not go rushing and do not go arguing. घुसने की जरूरत नहीं है हर आर्ग्यूमेंट में. कई चीजें बस सुन के छोड़ देने वाली होती हैं, कि वही मैंने बोला ना, वर्थ माई टाइम, इतना दिमाग में इसमें लगाऊं वो. Then use your technology and apps to stay informed, to understand the crowd conditions, to understand whether this place is safe, worth going there or not going there. कोई crowded market है, you know कि आज situation tense है, मत जाओ ना. It's up to you to keep yourself safe ना. तो everything others cannot do. दो चीजें जो हम जनरली साइकोलॉजिस्ट या साइकेट्रिस्ट पूछते हैं. फर्स्ट इज, नींद पूरी आई 8 घंटे की. दूसरा, खाना खाया 4 बार के नहीं खाया दिन में, भूखे तो नहीं रहते हो. These two disturb our biological balance and disturb our thinking. If this is disruptive, your thoughts will get disrupted. You will not be able to take right decision. When you are in a trauma, when you are in a grief, you stop eating, you stop sleeping, and within a week, your mental state will be so disturbed that you will not be able to take proper decision. One of my relative has just lost her father, and she went back to work after 13 days of grief or something, and she's working on a book by her father and all. She just told me that I really want to quit my job. I don't feel like working. I said, if you want to take a break, take a month's break and grieve properly. Don't go back to work. She's a government officer, so she can get a good leave also. Don't quit today. Don't take decision to quit now when you are in grief. Give your time self to recover. After a year and a half also, you feel that you do not like to work here, please quit. But not when the wound is so fresh. Whatever decision you are taking out of that grief and that disturbed state of mind. Whenever you are in disturbed state of mind, don't take permanent decisions. Withdraw yourself from the situation. एक बार जैसे आर्मी में होता है ना कि अटैक से पहले एक मीटिंग होती है एंड फिर दोबारा रिव्यू की जाती है स्ट्रेटेजी। एक फर्स्ट अटैक के बाद रात को बैठ के फिर से मंत्रणा होती है, अगले दिन की स्ट्रेटेजी डिसाइड होती है। दिस यू हैव टू डू विद योरसेल्फ आल्सो। आई हैव गॉन थ्रू सम ट्रॉमा, now I am under attack. I withdraw. I withdraw for a few days. I recollect myself, create my mental balance. I come back fresh to the situation and I deal with the trolls and everything. That's it. You have to ground yourself. You have to invite people who are supportive to you to be there. And you have to keep yourself energized. Have timely food, drink a lot of water, sleep properly. When your mental state is at peace, then address that situation. In the moment, you will always end up taking wrong decisions.
Yes. So emotional balance and not making any decision when emotions are running high or too low. So that is what we also help our clients to realize in therapy room. Thank you so much, Manisha ma'am, for taking out your time for this very, very insightful and much needed discussion. And if we have further
Thank you.
questions or any reflections or any observations by our listeners, we would really like to keep it an open house and they can come up and share with their experiences or their learnings, their takeaways from today's sessions. Any experience you want to share?
It's fine, Nidhi. I think this is the first webinar with them. The more we interact with them, the more people will open up. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes people also take time to collect their thought or they kind of put
They can
in
leave
chat.
us a message in the group if they want
Yeah. Yeah.
anything further.
Yes. Informative and insightful session is that insightful session. All right, then.